I do it every single day. And there's basically two parts demo of how Gatsby works. And I already alluded to this a little bit in the very early part of this conversation, that we live in a world of opt-in and privacy is a focus for many people. So what makes Gatsby great and why I can sleep at night, although I like my early morning coffees and the sunrise, but I do sleep just fine at night because we live in Gatsby's been built around this idea of opt-in. So we allow the brand to very easily create a field in their Klaviyo pop-up, or your partners like Just Uno or Wise Pops in their pop-ups, to easily ask the consumer, hey, do you want to opt in and give us your Instagram username? That's where the relationship starts. There's not going to be any sort of, I don't know, like, I don't want to say the word shady because it just is too strong, but there's a point at which the consumer who's on your website is saying, I want to engage with this brand on Instagram, right? And that point is, as I'm showing on my screen here, in most often in the email subscriber pop-up. Now you can actually integrate Gatsby, this field for Instagram, into any form on your website. It could be in checkout experiences, it could be in sign-up forms, but most popular and easiest is right in the sign-up form. So I'm showing a couple examples here of customers that are using Klaviyo for their pop-ups. So here we have PillowCube, a great brand that uses Shopify and Klaviyo. And you can see here that on their email subscriber pop-up, they added a field for Instagram. It's an optional field. This is pretty key because a lot of people won't have Instagram or won't want to do it. And again, you still want to make sure you get that lead on your website. Another example here, which we actually have a case study on our website now with these folks, Labouk, it's a fashion shoe brand. Also here, using an Instagram handle field, you can see they changed the way they designed the field a little bit. Some high-level stats here that you can expect. About 20% of the people who choose to give you their email address will opt in to give you their Instagram handle as well.
Huge.
So it's a pretty big percentage. And what's great is that because those people are opting in, they're more likely to be high engagers on social media. So we see 25 to 45% of the people that give you their handle are going to be micro influencers with 1,000 followers or more on average.
And Brett, if I could just jump in here for a moment on this. So I think, that's a huge percentage, I think, from conversion. Have you, in conversations with your customers, either Labouk or PillowCube, found that they need to do any extra incentivization to get people to fill these forms out? Or is it because, kind of like you said, it's already people who are so active on social that they want to become more active on social? Like, do we see that we need any, like sometimes with SMS, our customers will offer, let's say, an additional 5% off or some additional thing for a phone number. Have you seen any need to incentivize people to do Instagram on top of just an email address?
No.
Yeah.
Most popular way is just to add it to the existing incentive structure you have in place. First time customers get X% off, in that same promotion, just make an optional field.
Sure. Love it.
That's
great.
I mean, you can definitely do more. We have clients using different pop-up providers that have the two-step process in place, and they're adding it to step 2. But just to keep it simple, you don't have to do that. The customers that are active on Instagram want you to know about them. They want to engage with you.
Cool. Awesome.
So this is step 1, is just capture the handles. Now, if you stop there, Gatsby is not very valuable, right? Because you can ask for handles without Gatsby. You can get all those random @ signs and letters and numbers on your own. But imagine capturing, in a world before Gatsby, imagine capturing 100,000 email addresses before a tool like Klaviyo, right? There's not much value there in the email address without a tool like Klaviyo. So the same is true with Gatsby and the Instagram handle. As soon as somebody enters their Instagram handle and they press the sign up now button or the button, then that field goes to that Gatsby account where it's immediately enriched with publicly available information about that person's profile. So I'm going to show you here on my screen for those that have visual access here, but this is the Gatsby dashboard. And right away, within a split second, the client is going to be able to see that person's Instagram profile photo,
Nice.
How many followers they have, people that they follow, like how many people they follow, the number of posts they've done. They can see their bio on Instagram, so they can do keyword search. So imagine being a fashion brand and being able to look for terms like beauty, fashion, blogger, right? And then we also now give a proprietary G-score to every Instagram profile you capture on an A through D basis. And this is going to look at that profile and make an assessment of that individual's influencer ability for you. This is still in beta, but it's getting some high regards. So certain things like if they've tagged your brand before on Instagram, that increases their score. If they have a complete profile, if their ratio of followers to following is in certain tiers, that also increases it. This is based upon us being in business for 4 years now and seeing lots and lots and lots of Instagram handles and which ones are more successful. So I'll stop here and just for a second see if any questions are coming up by either of you two on what's happening at this point.
Sure. Yeah. I'll just, for the listeners too. And again, we're going to share this video out, but I will just say this is an extremely neat interface too. It seems like right when you get in, you can easily understand, hey, if you got 10 new followers or 10 people to fill out that form, and provide their Instagram handles, you'll very easily be able to see the potential influence those people would be able to have for your brand. So A, already kind of super easy. And then B, the integration process itself kind of from, or maybe this is what you were going to get to next, Brett, and I can pause and see, Gianna, if you have any specific questions.
No, I was going to say specifically the exact same thing, that this is super easy to understand. And I think what's great about this, right, is like you're touching upon the main issue that marketers are coming to time and time again. It's like they don't have a ton of time. They need to be able to know what's important, have it straight away right in front of their face. And I think this definitely solves that problem. And I love the idea of a G-score, right? Like, right away whether this person that's given you their handle is somebody that you want to continue having this relationship with, and introduce them to your brand and make them like a part of your brand's community. Also, could you go through this chart here up right above the influencers?
I definitely will, but I want to make sure I get to that after I show something else, because this is going to be kind of the next phase. So let's actually jump into that. So the Klaviyo integration is really key because this data lives in Gatsby, and there is an internal email function for Gatsby. It's very basic and limited, but most of our customers are using Klaviyo to do all of their emailing. And you guys have at Klaviyo built an incredible platform that has become, in many ways, a central repository for customer information and data. So the Gatsby data is even more powerful when it's inside of Klaviyo, where it can be layered on top of that person's activity with newsletters and that person's customer purchasing behavior, right? So now all of a sudden you have that to layer on top. So we're now about 1 second after that person gave their handle, it's been enriched with this information. And then about a split second later, it's now back in Klaviyo. I'm gonna go ahead and show that as well. And people that are on the call will understand that this is inside of Klaviyo. I'm looking at a person's profile in Klaviyo. That's all I'm doing. And on the right-hand side of that person's profile in Klaviyo, there will be these Gatsby statistics there, their Instagram statistics. So they can see here how many followers they have, their Instagram bio keywords, all that inside of Klaviyo as well.
So I would imagine then you can take all that information, which I know you're probably going to go to, and build some segmentation around all of that as well.
Segments and flows, that is the key.
Yep.
So you can build segments in order to do these one-off sort of lookups and reach outs, or you can do flows, which are for the automation. So let's go ahead and show a quick flow here. A very popular flow. We have a help article that goes through this entire process step by step. We link it to a lot of Klaviyo articles and stuff. So very common, it's putting your customers into influencer buckets. So for example, make a flow, either fork it out of the welcome email series flow or create an entirely different flow. Very simply, that's like customers who have between 1,000 and 5,000 followers. Once you have somebody that falls in that segment, send them this email. Between 5,000 and 10,000 followers, send them this email. And those emails are very often a collaboration invite, right? It's a, hey, thank you so much for shopping yesterday on our website. We love your Instagram feed. Thanks for providing it to us. You qualify for $10 off your next purchase, or you qualify for a special VIP, lipstick package with your next purchase, whatever you want to offer as an incentive. And you say, we only ask that you actually will mention us on Instagram in order to receive it. So you go ahead and you create these offers, collaboration offers. And then what's great, and this is to get to your point here, Gianna, with Gatsby, is inside of the Gatsby interface, we can show you which of those customers fulfilled their end of the bargain. Nice. So remember the earlier part with the G sheets and tracking? You don't have, it's all gone now. Because now in Gatsby, we tell you exactly when they mention you on Instagram and how many times they mention you. So you can see here in this visual, we're showing that 10 of the 33 people that have been captured in that Klaviyo pop-up in this demo account have now actually tagged us on Instagram. And don't mind these icons. The Instagram photos will show up now for everybody and it'll be just fine. So we're showing here these 10 people have now tagged you on Instagram. You can filter down by the date range in which they've done it. And up here to your question before, we also show you the engagement rates on those posts. So we are official partners with Facebook and Instagram. All the data we get here is coming directly from our relationship with Facebook. And so we're able to, because of that, we're able to show how those posts that tag the brand performed. So we can pull in the amount of likes and comments those posts received, and we can calculate an engagement rate based on how many followers they have. So you can see here on October 1st, for example, we're showing that all of the Gatsby influencers that mentioned our brand on October 1st, they got us 10.72% engagement rate on those posts.
Nice.
And that's, number of likes and comments. You can play with the date ranges. You can see how you're growing over time, how it compares. And you can layer that on top of an estimate for reach. So if you notice here, the engagement number was, in our example, relatively small for that time period, but it's actually the highest day for reach in this graph because we had a larger influencer post about us in that day.
Right.
So there's one more step. I want to make sure I pause here. Yeah. Any questions?
Well, I think I may actually have you go through one step, because I think what I'm going to try and do as a non-Gatsby employee is kind of go through this flow, and not just the Klaviyo flow, but go through the flow of essentially how someone starts on the form to what they eventually get. Because I'm looking at this and we're not trying to sell Gatsby on this podcast, but I'm looking at this and I'm saying, and thinking it's very cool. The engagement rate from people who enter those flows, I assume, has to be extremely high, because they're volunteering their Instagram account. They're then getting some level of offer that normal people wouldn't get. So I would assume if I put up the metrics next to that, like 1 to 5K or whatever, 5 to 10K Klaviyo flow versus a more regular flow within Klaviyo, we're going to see the engagement rates in terms of open rate, placed order rate, and things like that be much higher given the information they've already volunteered.
And what's really cool about that, and we'll show the next final feature that's very exciting. I don't want that to be forgotten because it is very important. But on that point, Taylor, this is still relatively new with this integration with Klaviyo. It came out in late October, and we're only recording this in December. But I have had some anecdotal feedback from customers using the integration, as well as we do have one case study already published on the integration specifically. And what I'm finding is that what's great is that because you're often capturing this Instagram data pre-conversion, right? This is in the pop-up window. To your point, it actually helps convert influential prospects into customers. And you want more influencer customers because they'll get the word out organically as well. So by putting them into this funnel, this is what's great. Let's say, imagine you get, 100 Instagram handles next week in your flow, and most of them don't purchase right away. Well, you put them into a special welcome series that says, hey, you're special to us. We want to make sure we really take care of you because Instagram is great. Well, that might help increase their conversion rate, which we're already starting to see. So all of a sudden you're increasing the initial conversion and getting referral business back to your site. It's I hate to say no brainer, but I just feel so excited about this opportunity we have with you guys and what our customers are seeing.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's a very good point in terms of just making sure that, because we already know with an even very high performing welcome series, separate from Gatsby, separate from getting an Instagram account, that we, even a great welcome series is going to have maybe a 15 to 20% conversion rate. Even that's on the high end. So the point is we have to find a way to convert that other 85 to, or 80 to 85% of individuals. Now we're taking this one step deeper to a one step more engaged audience, making sure that they actually become customers organically.
Exactly. Now, because of time, let me go ahead and show the last step here, which is going to help round trip the whole thing, and then we can talk. So what's great is I've already shown here in Gatsby that we are able to tell the client that these 10 people have now mentioned you on Instagram. And by mention, I should say that means that they've tagged you in a picture or mentioned you in a caption or a comment, not stories yet. Just to put that out there for customers. It's a very common question. Sure. It has to do with the API from Facebook. So now we have all this data. What's great is that this event of them mentioning you is passing back to Klaviyo as well. And this is so important. So you don't have to worry about remembering to give them their reward for mentioning you. Directly in Klaviyo, people can go and create a second flow or another flow trigger. And that one, this is what's available to the integration customers as soon as they integrate, is this brand new trigger here under the metric in Klaviyo Flows called mentioned you. And so you just select when someone mentions you, do this action, and that's it. And you can go ahead and send them their email.
Nice.
Because you guys integrate so well with Klaviyo and Magento for the promotion codes, it's very easy for customers to go ahead and create a promotion code template so that every recipient of that reward email gets their own unique code that's easy to track. Nice. So it's you spend half an hour putting this thing together, and then you can just sit back and watch as you grow.
One of the things that I love, Brett, about this is specifically this one that you clicked into was a text-only email. And we have found at Klaviyo that text-only emails just feel personal, right? And that's what this whole experience is trying to capture, is feeling like you're talking to a real person. And I love that this is a text-only email that's like, hey, thanks so much for thanks for following through. Thanks for posting and mentioning us. Here is your discount code. So you're not just being like, here's a code, go enjoy, but instead like continuing to build this relationship with them. So over time, they're more likely again to post with you.
Exactly. And even more on that point, you have this granularity with the way the email looks, but also with the rules. So we had a Klaviyo customer last week ask us, could we only send the email out after they mentioned us 3 times? And the answer is yes, because we send the event of them mentioning every time they mention. So you guys have mentioned you trigger, greater than 3 times. It's not hard to do. So, and you can also say mentioned us and have purchased. Make sure that, after you purchase, then you can do this offer. So the whole thing is very easy to make malleable, and the Klaviyo platform has been tremendous for making that really easy to say yes to a lot of questions that customers ask.
Yeah, I can see it, and I think it's great. And before